afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another riveting, exciting, well, perhaps not riveting and exciting, but nonetheless educational propaganda episode with me, your host, and Pearl Dane. Today we're doing another commander ranking video. This last one was pretty well received. Today we're going to be having a look at the Orbital Commander West, how do I rank them, and which ones I think are good, less good, and honestly just kind of trash. Obviously, again, as always, I'm looking a bit power level, but also just design. I think design is actually also quite crucial. In this regard, the Orbital Commanders honestly aren't that good. So, let's start out. At the bottom, we got Special Operations. And again, while it was a doctrine that was very powerful and very played for a long time, the problem is it was pretty much just centered around the Panther Command Tank. Without the Panther Command Tank, the entire doctrine has pretty much just vanished into thin air. The doctrine with the tank itself, because it acts as a restriction. It's not just longer a Panther you can rush out faster, which is slightly above the average Panther. And that pretty much kills the entire doctrine, because the doctrine otherwise doesn't make sense. It's special operations, stealth and surprise, sure, but what does a command Panther have to do with that? Where's the stealth? Why flare? The doctrine just doesn't fit the theme at all. It just feels weird, and while they, I suppose, tried to buff radio silence, it really didn't do a lot. I mean, the problem is the doctrine is just all over the place. It has no real theme, it has no real elements. Honestly, a bunch of the abilities probably just stand to bunch together, like infiltration tactics with the infrared assault rifle package could probably just be stuffed into one thing. Maybe with a third ability, maybe some ambush camouflage added on top. Ambush camouflage would be a much better fit in a doctrine like this. I think would certainly add some stealth and surprise, or maybe a variation on it. I don't know, some assault stormtroopers or something. Just something that makes more sense than what there's currently is there. And honestly, that Panther Command Tank really could do with being popped elsewhere, or just, or hold as well in a sense, because it just doesn't add up. So yeah, basically bottom tier, because it's, again, without the Panther Command Tank being something you can get out really fast, it's just a very bad doctrine, design-wise and power level-wise. So that one is pretty much its bottom. Next to the bottom, slightly playable, but still not very good, we find Search Illuminary Doctrines as Overwatch and Scavenge. Two doctrines which aren't particularly impressive either. Again, they're sort of like Scavenge. What are you scavenging? They're thorough salvage, and that's it. Besides that, it's just an average doctrine that really doesn't fill up on the theme. Where's the captured equipment or the ability to do something with it beyond just salvaging it? There's nothing. It's got some grenade assaults, it's got howitzer barrages, it's got the Austin, which is nice now, but beyond that, thematically, it doesn't really work. And again, while the Austin is definitely good, it's not really something you want to go to an entire doctrine for. And the Jaeger Light Infantry Squad was kind of buzzed at some point. Beyond that, again, it really doesn't offer a lot. And similarly, this one also offers Jaeger Light Infantry, and again, beyond that, doesn't really offer a lot. Goliath, highly, tricky to use, can be used for fun, but beyond that, doesn't really offer a lot. For the Falcon, very tricky ability. Howitzers are nice, but the other doctrine that offer them, and Sector Assault, again, while busted at one point, is now nerfed. And again, similarly, Overwatch. Well, why about some Overwatch abilities? Stuff like that. Abilities to lock down areas and sort of bombard the allies that push through them. For a defensive sort of sense doctrine, it feels like it lacks a lot of components to really make that defensive element work. So, again, they just they're not quite as bad as Spec Ops, I feel, but they're not very good either. They definitely could also do with a strong overhaul. Sort of moving up, better, but not the best. We got stuff like Breakthrough, which again has benefit from the punch and such being better, but honestly, the Jagdtiger doesn't make any sense. It's just the unit they went for because they could, but it doesn't really add anything. It's still really big and clunky, and isn't really good at sort of breaking through either. It lacks some more firepower to its AoE elements, at least to be better, I think, in that sense. While it certainly has some good elements, it's still sort of being held back largely due to the Jagdtiger. Elite Armored, I feel is also close, but again, we sort of end up with a big, clunky armored piece, which doesn't really feel like Elite Armored. Where's the Elite actually Elite tanks? And a Sturmtiger definitely isn't that. That was something that made more sense in Breakthrough, rather than Elite Armored. So again, while it's nice and has some potency, again, thematically, it doesn't quite add up, which I feel holds it back, and ultimately sort of prevents them sort of getting anywhere, seriously. And then we have Firestorm, again, sort of nice. Again, it feels sort of offensively, but power level-wise, stuff like the Flampanzer feels awkward, and the Upper Blitz, it also feels like it's lacking something. But it's, again, while not as powerful as it does, thematically it works a lot better. But again, it still is being held back. And then we have fortifications, again, nice, but like Oberkommandos really doesn't want to play too defensively, so again, while it's nice, and again, thematically it's very fitting, army-wise, it's not quite fitting either, so it's sort of there, it's nice, but it's not particularly popular. I mean, in the end we got Grand Offensive and Luftwaffe Ground Forces. They're both thematically, but also parallel-wise sort of fit together. I mean, Grand Offensive, you got the Panzerlist, you got Infinite Assault Rifles, you got Smoke, you got Panzer Commands, of course, you got the Command Tiger. Overall, it works. It has a thematic theme it sticks to, and it has a Tiger tank, which is nice, and certainly of all the call-ins. I mean, honestly, it would make more sense in Elite Armored as well than the Sturmtiger. Like, honestly, they should just pop it in there as well, and just, I don't know, stuff the Sturmtiger somewhere else. Preferably away. And, you know, I think that, you know, make that one probably also a bit better Elite Armored if they could stuff the Tiger tank in there, or the Command Panther. But, oh, wait, Grand Offensive works and has some good abilities in that I think most people aren't using the very well. And of course, got Luftwaffe Ground Forces after the Fallschirmjägers got made a lot better. The entire doctrine fits more. Again, you got an offensive infantry theme with Valiant Assault. The Fallschirmjägers, heavy fortifications. Again, they could probably get away with buffing the flank emplacements. You got Stuka Smoke, which is nice. And of course, Airborne Assault again fits with the whole combined assault there. So I mean, it works and it has like a good power level. So that's sort of, I think, roughly the tiers here for the Oberkommando West. There's a lot, you know, again, sort of middling stuff there. Because, again, I mean, the doctrines really sort of fit the issues of the Oberkommando, which is it's kind of an ill-defined faction that sort of relies more on gimmicks than anything. And a lot of the doctrines have these really big gimmick units that are either really frustrating because they're suddenly too good, or they're kind of pointless because, again, the gimmick elements pretty much make them very difficult to balance to get right. So, in many cases, the Oberkommando doctrines are emblematic of the issues of the Oberkommando West as a faction, which, again, it's a gimmick faction. So, yeah, there you go. That sort of shows the evaluation here of ranking the Oberkommando West commanders. My thoughts there. So, you know, I mean, feel free to agree, disagree, but that sort of shows my evaluation of them. Again, not just power level, but also just, you know, like how the doctrines design. In this regard, a lot of the Oberkommando doctrines, yeah, aren't really exactly so well designed. I mean, particularly, again, Spec Ops, Overwatch, and Scavenge just are kind of nonsensical in design, actually. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, family, enemies. No, don't those. Actually, don't tell those. And, of course, remember to press the bell button so you're more likely to get videos. And, of course, if you like what I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial Links, and cheers, and see you all another time for another video. Bye.